Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar. And I don't even know, I really don't even know how to start this video off because unintentionally I started finding out some things, connecting some dots, if you will, about the so called divorced man, right? And it's all because of my friend. Now, let me get into the details of it because it's kind of a lot. So, I guess if you want to get you some popcorn, some tea, or whatever, and sit down and get into it, I will go ahead and get into it. Now, like I said, I don't know how this is gonna go because I have it on my phone where I am hopefully gonna be able to scroll so I can tell y'all the specifics so that I don't have to put it into the video because I'm obviously not gonna put his actual face up there. Oh, wait a minute. Well, no, I don't know. I'm hopeful that this is just recording by itself. I think it is, but I have it split. So I don't know what it's going to look like until after it's done. So anyway, y'all, don't mind me. Like I have already mentioned to my family and friends on my personal pages that go ahead and ignore my eyebrows because I am experimenting with something, if you will. Now, for y'all, the experimentation has everything to do with a black owned business's product. So I'm not going to be plucking, waxing, threading, anything like that to my eyebrows until I see fit. I'm trying to see if something going to do what I wanted to do. Now, if it does, then a lot of people are going to be happy that I went through this process for them to see that it works. Now, yeah, we gonna get into it. Just know that this is the reason why my eyebrows look rough. So please don't come for me. Anyway, y'all, let me go ahead and get started. Y'all don't mind me. I'm just trying to moisturize and revitalize and just bring some life to my little curls that I leave out when I do certain hairstyles. I got these out, so I'm just moisturizing them, reviving them because they look real rough. I'm put my glasses on at some point in time too because I got to read off some stuff to y'all. So yeah. So anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna have it in the title, but this is about the so-called divorced man, right? Well, yesterday I was talking to my friend. Now, we were supposed to go out to eat breakfast yesterday morning. I was so excited that I wasn't going to have to work that I was like, okay, she always asking to go out somewhere. We've already gone out to lunch one time, but we've, wanted to go out to breakfast together before, or at least she's wanted to go. And I've been like, no, no, I'm not going to go. No, no, no. So yesterday, I called her before we got off work to ask her if she wanted to go to breakfast. And so she was like, well, I'm supposed to be walking with, so and so, but we can go afterwards. So I was like, okay. Now, my intentions were, you know what? I am going to take it upon myself. Now, initially, I didn't think of this. I said, I'm going to take it upon myself to pay the bill once the bill come. And that's going to be her part of her Mother's Day gift or her actual Mother's Day gift. Right? So this was just something that she didn't know was gonna come until it happened. Y'all, to make a long story short, when I got home, I was supposed to change my clothes and change my shoes if the shoes weren't gonna go with the shirt and things that I changed into, put on some earrings if I wanted to, or at least look more presentable than how I was looking at work because I was like, I don't care about what anybody thinks because I'm not trying to please anybody, but at the same time, I want it to look somewhat presentable, child. So I was like, well, let me see. Got home and I'm a little sleepy. And y'all, I had sat up there, changed my clothes, had my shoes on, and I'm waiting on her to call or text me to give me an update, because where she was, it was only going to take her 5 to 7 minutes tops to get to where she wanted to eat. Me, it would have took me probably about 7 to 10 or whatever, driving the speed limit. So, I mean, it wouldn't have been that long. Child, I had to sat up here and dozed off, went to sleep on accident, and woke up like an hour after she initially kind of guesstimated a time that she might be available after walking. So, y'all, when I woke up, I missed 3 phone calls from her, and she had texted me. The last text message came in 5 minutes prior to me waking up, where she was like, "Hey, I've been sitting here for 25 minutes." And she wasn't upset, thank God, y'all. She was not upset. She went to go and retrieve her Mother's Day gift that she had arranged for her mom. And you know what I'm saying, I called her, I apologized and all of that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, do you still want to go? Because at this time it's still morning, and I wasn't necessarily going to get breakfast. I could have gotten something else, but they were going to be serving breakfast. Like, we have several places around here that serve everything all day, not just fast food places or whatever. And so she was like, well, I mean, if you want to go, we could still go, or you know, whatever, because at this point now she was going to have to go and deliver the stuff to her mom. And her ex-husband that she lives with, unfortunately, wanted to go somewhere, and so she kind of, you know, feels obligated to be at his beck and call. I really wish she didn't feel that way, but that's another conversation for another day. Well, later on we talking, and she was like, well, I don't know, I'm trying to remember how she put it. I think she kind of put it in a way where she wanted to be careful in saying it, and she kind of said, well, I don't know if this is the entire story, and I don't even know why this person brought this to my attention. But to make a long story short about what she was told was that this woman at work had recently been like encountering the so-called divorced man, meaning they were passing each other. And I forgot if I put that in the other video, but yeah, this is a continuation if I did. She all of a sudden started to see him in passing. And so she was just like, well, dang, where he going? And so she approached him the other day and was like, hey, I keep seeing you. You know, do you live over there or whatever? He was like, yeah, I live over there. And so the area that my friend was trying to tell me about, I was like, that don't add up, because his home is in a whole nother direction. Like, what you talking about? No, that can't be it. So she was like, well, if I'm not mistaken, she said this area. And I was like, that's very interesting to me, because he's made it to where he has been very, very proud whenever he was discussing where he's paying on a trailer. Now, I know some of y'all might laugh and all that stuff, but I'm just saying, some people don't have a pot to piss in. So again, this is one of the other ways that, you know, for me, I wasn't going to judge him because he had a trailer. I grew up in a house, and he grew up in various types of environments or whatever. And I wasn't going to try to judge him because he was living in a trailer. Now, he's shown me the outside of the trailer. He's gone around the inside of the trailer. The trailer looked nice at the time and all that stuff. Like, it wasn't a raggedy trailer like you would think trailer park trash would look like. It wasn't a situation like that. But he is almost done paying on it. And he was working like crazy when he first got there, and he was first able to start working overtime, because he was putting down more than the normal payments were per month, because he wanted to pay it off fast. And he was just, like, whenever he would talk about it, he would talk about it with so much pride. And it was only in his name, not in his wife's name as well, unless that was another lie that he told me. But anyway, y'all, so I'm saying all this to say that my friend then said, well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why she even came to tell me that. I really don't know. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I was halfway listening, because she doesn't have the slightest interest in the divorced man. She said before that day he approached her, because this is the same person that he approached months ago. He approached her, talk about some, hey, you look like somebody that I would like to deal with. I would like to have you on the side. I'm married right now, but I'm about to get divorced. And so when she said all that, I'm looking like, huh? Because like I keep telling y'all, nobody at my job knew that we had any type of a relationship. All they knew was what they saw, which was we were interacting with one another, we were friendly with one another, and we were laughing all the time. Because as I've already told y'all, I knew a lot of his relatives before I ever knew of his existence. And I'm cool with them. They cool people. My friend is dating one of his cousins and is going to get married to him someday, all of that. So I knew everybody, even that particular cousin's mama, all of that. And so there were just certain situations that he would bring up, and he was like, I would love to take you down there. She has all these barbecues and these cookouts and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, I know about her. Like I know old boy's mama and all this, her name, all this stuff. And so I already know about all of the cookouts and things that happen. And it just pissed me off that after everything that eventually started coming out, that I actually allowed myself to start envisioning myself in these situations where he would be like, oh, well, they're having a cookout. I want you to come with me. I'd be going down there because they play the type of music I like. They play blues and all that good stuff. They finna play all these good blues, all this good blues music. So outside of eating, if I was go eat, because I do plan on continuing, my alkaline journey, getting all the way back up, to speed with that. But worst case scenario, like I've been in situations where a whole lot of terrible stuff was around me food wise, and I was not folding. I wasn't tempted. Nothing about it tempted me. I didn't sneak nothing. I still had my water. I still had my fruit. I still had my teas, all that stuff. It did not faze me in the slightest. So I believe that I would have been able to go down there and be fine. But in my mind, I'm envisioning going to these little situations with his family, seeing my friend there because she goes to a lot of them all the time, these little functions. I'm dancing to the music. Like like when I tell y'all, I'm the type of person that when I am about to date, or I'm in the middle of dating, or I'm in a relationship with a person, I envision the future. So the way this man talking to me, leading up to where he done already made it seem like he done got divorced, because now I'm 100% convinced that he was lying. Now, that like he made me feel that I could be safe in taking my walls down, because I had continuously told this man, I'm not interested in nothing. I am single and not looking. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I'm the type of person that when I have been hurt and you have tried to test my gangster, when I'm done, I'm done. I'm like, I'm not trying to hear nothing you trying to say. When I tell y'all, for the longest, I could not even see that this man was after me. I could not even see it. He could have already been saying, I'm getting divorced from my wife. It went in one ear and out the other. I was ignoring him. Like when it's bad for me, when it's really, 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 really fresh, and I've been tried in the way that I have been tried with my exes, I don't hear nothing you saying. It automatically comes off as foolishness, red flags, and some more. And I'm just, it's in one ear and out the other. So anyway, y'all, child, I'm envisioning us being together at this point. Like, I'm allowing myself to like envision this, because at this time he didn't lie to me talking about, oh, I done got divorced, the divorce decree at the house and all this other stuff. And so in my mind, I'm like, you haven't lied about anything else. So why would you now lie about this? You showed me the house. Like, he was on video chat with me, showing me, walking around the house, showing me how everything was removed from the house except a couch, because the people who moved everything out of the house for the wife, when she just decided to come in and took everything, they couldn't lift it. That was the only thing. So he was going to sleep, or basically passing out and drifting off for a few minutes here and there, because he wasn't really sleeping in when she just left. And he was only left with the couch. He went around the house and showed me. So there were always receipts. So in my mind, I didn't feel like I needed to go and find a divorce decree or be like, run me that divorce decree, let me see it, because everything else had panned out prior to that. Now let's fast forward to now. Now remember when I told y'all that I was basically like kind of thinking that I might start trying to allow dates to happen from time to time, right, with him, because I was slowly letting my walls down. I told y'all that I was going to the last music festival of the year last year, and I wanted him to go with me. So I had asked him if he would go with me, and he was trying to make it seem like he was like, well, how much the tickets? I told him, child, he had every excuse in the book, but I was like, okay. And so he was like, well, I normally get my son on that day and whatever, whatever. And like, he really is like very involved with his son. There'll be times that we'll be on FaceTime and he would be with his son, watching his son, and he would like turn the camera around and I would see his son on like little big wheels when he was like younger and all. Like, he really was active with his youngest child. All his other children, all his other sons are grown. So the one that he had with the wife, he would really be there at the house spending time with his son. And but he would just be off far enough to where the son wouldn't hear our conversation and would just be talking to me. And like the stuff he was saying, y'all, I still have receipts of text messages that this man has sent me. I still have video messages of screenshot videos that I've taken of him, because I was just like, I can't believe this man is saying this to me. Like, and now I'm glad that I have that, because I don't want nobody to ever try to make it seem like I'm crazy, because he was the one initiating all this stuff. I was over here minding my business. I wasn't bothering nobody. So anyway, guess what? So I'm talking to my friend yesterday. And so after she told me that, she was like, well, you can look up and see if the person got divorced. Now, I tried to kind of like Google him before and nothing would come up. And so I was like, well, I mean, I guess it ain't meant for me to see, whatever. I don't know. I ain't think nothing about it. I wasn't really trying to look like that, because at this point, I don't want nothing else to do with you no way, because you tried to talk to my friend. You tried to talk to her. When all this time prior to me allowing myself to start trying to trust that you're going to do everything you told me you're going to do. Me trying to trust that you're not going to try me like everybody else before you has tried me. That you are being truthful when you tell me that you're done with the wife and that y'all shouldn't. Like, this man told me out of his own mouth way before he really started putting it on thick and doing the most. This man told me, first he told me he was married, had been married for 2 years, it just made 2 years. I said, oh, congratulations. He said, thank you. Conversation was normal. He never put out no hint that he was into me. Then out of nowhere, not long after that, 2 years into their marriage, this man tells me he shouldn't have never married the wife. He only married her because she had gotten pregnant with their son, and this was her first child. He didn't want her to be out here looking stupid, so that's why he married her. And I was like, oh, wow. Because he really didn't see a future with her like that. He said they was buck wild, crazy, like really into sex on the same level of sex at that time and all of that. And I was just like, okay. So in my mind, I'm kind of like, well, I don't really care, but do what y'all do. But he was just like, yeah, I should have never married her. It wasn't meant to be, whatever. So he already was planting the seeds by telling me this, because I'm going to remember that you said all this to me. So fast forward to now. Now, let me see if this is going to work. I have split screen, like I said earlier. I'm about to scroll down and tell y'all some things. So my friend was like, well, you can look up and see if somebody has a divorce decree out there. She had gotten divorced, and she says she sees hers out there, and she went to a certain site and all this other stuff. I was like, okay. Because I tried to go on there at one point in time. I don't know why it didn't pull up for me, or I just wasn't going to the right area. I don't know. But she sent me the link. So I was like, okay. Tried to put his name in before, nothing popped up. So I ain't worried about it. So I was like, well, whatever. So she went and ran an errand with her ex-husband and then came back to the house. Then she sent me another link. And that particular link was to the same site, but where she had put her own personal information in there from when she got divorced. And so I was like, oh, okay. So then I don't know why, but I guess when she advanced to that particular page, even though it was on the same site and from the same site, when I put his name in this time, the first time I put it in, his name popped up. And it wouldn't pop up on the civil side, meaning because you got divorced and all this other stuff, but it popped up on the criminal side. And it was what he had already told me. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm being blindsided, because essentially I feel as though he came to me once he was trying to get me comfortable with him and was like, yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I went to jail, or I went to prison, because he went to the pen behind what he did. Let me tell y'all. Is it on this? I don't know if it's on this particular page, but if it's not on this page, I don't think it is. I don't think it's on this page, but when he did some things back in the day, he got sentenced to 10 years in the pen and served 5. Okay? No, it's not on there. So, anyway, if I think about it, I'll put it up there. But yeah, he went there, and it was like a robbery situation. I forgot what it was. Something about he told, okay, this was the story he told me, to make a long story short. He said that he was like the getaway driver or something. He knew about the situation and he didn't get away or whatever. He thought there wasn't no cameras in there, and it was, or some crap. I don't know. Anyway, he got caught up and he ended up pulling 5 years out of the 10. He got released early and was on 5 years probation. Whatever. Okay. So that was way before I ever met him. Child, tell me why I went to sleep. Woke up a couple of hours ago, and when I unlocked my phone, the first thing popped up was that page again. So even though I was done, because I told my friend, I was like, you know what? I don't even want to look at nothing dealing with him because it's going to piss me off. It's getting me agitated again because it's making me think back on how I've wasted my time trying to allow this man to prove to me that he's not like all these other people, because he really was like, well, let me prove to you I'm not like all these other people. I wouldn't do you like this, I wouldn't do you like that, and all the while he was playing in my face. So anyway, like I said, if I think about it, I will find that information. But let me tell y'all about this other stuff leading up to the most recent. So that wasn't his only infraction. That wasn't the only time he had gone to jail and gotten arrested and all this other stuff. Child, tell me why I'm minding my business and some stuff pop up. And I'm like, wait a minute, baby. So back in 2004, some stuff pop up. He had 5 different charges. Now, it's going to start getting ignorant. You're going to be like, wait a minute, what you talking about? I don't know. You know what? If I can click on it, it'll make sense. So the first one was dwelling house with intent to commit larceny, A and B. Yeah, that's a big offense here. Forgery was the second one. The third one says uttering. Now, I can't get that to pull up anything else. The fourth one says residence. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, let me see if it'll let me. No, it's not letting me do that. Ooh, I'm trying not to lose the page. Hold on, let me click on it and see if it'll go into depth. Hold on, was this him? Anyway, so yeah, but anyway, with that one, so then a year later, I'm looking right at this man's picture. It's him. He in the picture looking toe down to the ground. And it says they got him for obstruction of justice. The second charge was possession of controlled substances. The third one was driving under the influence of alcohol. First offense, and it was between 0.8 and 0.14% in his system. Now, when I first met him, he told me he don't drink like that and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay. So then, because the only thing I ever saw him do or knew that he did was smoke cigarettes. So I was like, okay, I don't like cigarette smoking, but whatever, do what you do. And at this point, he basically was trying to act like if he needed to quit for me, and he told me he was going to quit anyway. He told me he was going to quit smoking, never did. He seemed like he was quitting, and then all of a sudden he ramped all the way back up. And this was way before his mom passed away. So I'm like, okay, minding my business. All right. So now we're getting closer to the foolishness that I cannot believe is connecting the dots, child. So, let's see. Where'd it go? So tell me why the foolishness. Wait a minute. Where'd it go now? No. I hope it don't go away. Wait, no. All right, y'all. I'm about to go back to the page because it took that one page I need for y'all to see where it's connecting the dots. Let me type his name in real quick. And I'm about to go back to it, pull up Virginia, because all of this stuff happened in Virginia. I don't know if where he grew up most of his life the foolishness happened. Okay, let me see. Child, listen. So this is where it really gets interesting. That day when I told y'all I had been in communication with him all day, there was a plan where he was going to come over to my place. This was after his mom passed away. He had been sleeping. And, you know, since his birthday had passed, y'all. And I wasn't really talking to him like that because I felt like he wasn't being consistent. And I had told him, I was like, look, I ain't got time for this. You ain't doing what you're supposed to do. And so it's like he would do so well and then he just fall off. And I'm just like, no, I'm not accepting that anymore because I be going up for people. I be doing the absolute most for people. You're not finna just cut me off cold turkey without letting me know what's going on. Like, and that's why I don't be trusting nobody. That's why I don't be believing stuff. So anyway, y'all, I'm minding my business. Now I done texted him. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, I'm scared if I hit this button, it's gonna make this whole page go away. But the gist of the text messages that he and I had been sending that day were where we were talking and I was letting him know, like, you know, I just wanted to know, are you still coming over here and all this? He was like, yes, I definitely want to see you. And so I was like, okay. Now, keep in mind, all while I'm texting him, this is super duper early in the morning. I'm talking about way before 5 a.m. early in the morning. I'm texting him. He had gotten off work. By this time, he is already working on another shift. So this was going to be a day where he was going to be off. So I planned it like that. I'm like, okay, you going to be off. I'm going to be off. It's up. Because I think we have the same schedule. And so I was like, okay, you ain't got to work. I ain't got to work. This ain't going to happen that often. Okay, this is all going to line up. So I had his late birthday gift that I had for him. And then when I got off work, because I luckily didn't have to work over, I was shocked. I was so happy. Y'all, when I tell you, I was so happy when I got off work. I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh. I'm going to get him to come over here and I'm going to get him to go to sleep. After he, you know, talks to me and vents to me about his mom, I'm going to be able to get him to go to sleep. Because when I got off, I went to the store and I don't know what I did with it. But I had bought him this box of tea. Now, I had been telling him about chamomile tea ever since before he ever started trying to holler at me and all this. Because he told me he doesn't sleep that well and all of that. And I was like, chamomile tea. And I explained to him that I didn't sleep for 9 months. And my mama was like, well, you need to drink you some chamomile tea. You'll be all right. So I sucked it up. I was like, man, my mama don't know what she's talking about. Come on now. I'm over like, she don't know what she talking about. But I went over there and I bought the chamomile tea and I went my behind to sleep finally after 9 months, y'all. I don't know why I sat up there and doubted my mama. I'm crazy. But anyway, so I think I might have doubted her because, like, she has no issues with going to sleep. She will go to sleep at the drop of a dime. Always has been that way. I have always envied that. I wish I could. I can't. It takes a lot for me to go to sleep. I can't do it. She just go to sleep. So anyway, so I went to the store. When I tell y'all, I felt like everything was lining up because I went to the store. I was like, well, I don't care how much it costs. I want to get a great brand of chamomile tea. The first thing my eye diverts to is a box of name brand, amazingly name brand, at least in my opinion, chamomile tea that had melatonin and maybe something else in it, but it was chamomile tea. So you got melatonin in it already on top of that too. When chamomile tea already will make you sleepy, I was like, oh yeah. When he let me know he on the way, I'm gonna go ahead and have that brewing for him. It's gonna be where it need to be for him, right? And so I'm gonna have a cup ready for him to be sipping on. So when he done talking to me, he can go somewhere and lay down because I was gonna make him go to sleep. And despite the fact that I liked him, especially since I thought he was being honest with me, even though he wasn't, I wanted him to be able to go to sleep. His sleep pattern had gotten exceptionally worse when his mom passed away. He wasn't sleeping at all. He was looking crazy and everything in the face. So when I would see him at work, you could tell he hadn't been sleeping. And he'd been working a lot, and it was just too much going on. He the only one paying the funeral expenses for his mom, and it was just too much going on. And so I was like, no, he's off, and he ain't got to go home to his, because I had, and that was another discussion as well, because my thing is, I'm aware that you have children. The youngest is underage. So I need to make sure that he's okay and that he doesn't have obligations pending early that morning. So worst case scenario was I was going to get him to talk and get him to drink the tea. And then he was going to go to sleep the whole night. I was going to just watch him because I had already slept. I was good. I don't care. I'm off. When I'm off, there were times that I was off. I wouldn't sleep for 24 hours anyway because I was so excited to be off. So I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make him sleep because he's going to drink this tea. And he's going to be peacefully sleeping. This is finally going to be some good sleep. So the main reason why I wanted him to even come over was to just talk about his mom, because he said he hadn't even been able to really vent and talk about his mom except when he was talking to me. Because he would open up a little bit on the phone talking to me and then told me he wasn't talking, wasn't able. When he told me he never felt like he could talk to his wife about any of the things we ever talked about. And I'm talking about, when I tell y'all it's stuff you should be able to talk to your partner about, I'm like, what you mean? He was like, I never felt comfortable talking to my wife about none of this stuff. And it just comes natural being able to talk to you about it. I'm looking like, wow, that is so sad that you can't even talk to your significant other about life and not feel judged. That's basically what it was. He said he felt comfortable talking to me because he felt like he could say anything to me and I wouldn't be judging him. And I'm like, well, why would I? Like, for what? We all make mistakes, but at the same time, if you're learning from them and you're trying to do better, then I'm not going to judge you. There are some people that want to continuously stay in the downward spiral, and I ain't got no sympathy for them because they don't want better for themselves. So no. So I'm over here trying to get him to come over here. I'm talking about the communication. We talking. I mean, he's talking back to me this whole time. And he talking about something, I can't wait to see you. Of course, and I was like, well, if you don't want to come, I understand. He was like, no, I definitely want to see you, whatever, right? So I'm like, okay. So then I let him know I'm straightening it up. I was like, oh, I made it to the house and I'm so excited and all this other stuff, because I really have to do a lot to get myself excited. The fact that I told him that I was excited, I was doing too much then, because I had already done a lot to shield myself from getting hurt in general, because I didn't even want to be excited that there was a possibility that we might start dating or anything like that. He was trying to make it seem like he was on the same type of time that I was on. Like he wanted to come over a lot and spend time with me, for us to watch shows together, for us to go out to the movies. He wanted to do little things that people do if they are in an actual relationship. But the bare minimum, I ain't even want to display. I didn't even want him to come up to me and hug me when he leaving out, because like I told y'all, he went from being on my shift to working on another one. So when I'm coming in, he leaving out. I ain't even want nobody to see us hugging. And I mean, like, for the longest, he would beg and be like, I don't care about these people knowing about us. I was like, I don't want nobody to even see us hugging. And I'm a hugger. I am into touch. My love language, probably my most, I guess, the most favorite one for me is touch, physical touch. I love hugs. I love genuine, amazing hugs. I really do. So the fact that he would tell me that he wanted to hug and all this other stuff, and like when he would hug me, y'all, I would sink into him. Like, it felt so amazing. Like, I really live for hugs. So he was just like, I don't care. And like, we would have to kind of like sneak to hug one another because I didn't want nobody up in our business. When I tell you, I can't even look in the direction of a man without somebody thinking that we screwing. And I can't. And that's why I ain't want nobody in my business. Like, they be doing the most at my job. And so I was like, no. So the fact that I had gone through all that to avoid anybody knowing about us, to then thinking that we were finally on the same page where I'm willing to go out in public where a lot of people from work are probably going to run into us and see me dancing on you because I was going to be throwing it back in some more. I was going to be doing that. I was going to do that. I was going to show out. I was going to make it painfully obvious that we are somewhere out and about together, dating or whatever you want to think, it's going down. Whatever you want to infer is going on, yeah, all of that's happening. That's how far I was willing to go when I asked him if he would go to the music festival with me. So I have been obviously letting my walls down. Child, I know y'all like, girl, what was the last charge? What's going on? Child, on the day when everything's supposed to happen, he just said all this stuff to me. And so he was like, oh, well, I'm on my way. I was like, no, not right now. Later. Because, like, there was a specific time he normally would come. And so I'm like, well, why you think you finna come now? And this was like a couple of hours prior. Now, keep in mind, I'm saying a couple of hours prior. So I'm texting him, letting him know that I'm excited. And I asked him, was like 10 o'clock too late for him? Because he told me, no matter when you text me, I'm going to be ready, whatever, like, I'm available. He didn't say nothing. So I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, okay. So time went by. I had took me a nap. I was like, oh, I had took me a nap. I'm ready. I'm excited, whatever. And then I was like, well, I'm going to take a shower. I had asked him, was 10 o'clock? Okay. Ain't say nothing. Okay. Y'all, like I said, on the date that everything happened, here he go. They got his name up here. They got the date of when it happened. At 10:51 p.m., he got arrested for driving while intoxicated. This was his second conviction of anything in relation to that within the last 5 years. Now, keep in mind, there was some other things that had popped off in relation to that. In 2019, he had a reckless driving situation. I don't remember if I said it to y'all already, but he had a reckless driving situation. And then the second one was a hit and run personal injury situation that had popped off. Let me see if anything else popped up for that. Yeah, that was it for that. But sir, you're doing the most. I don't have time for this. So I'm like, oh, so that's the reason why. And he has to this day never addressed it, never said that's the reason why. Listen, y'all, wait a minute. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, I gotta see if I can pull it up. Because there's a page. Wait a minute. I don't know if it's gonna pull up for me, y'all. I'm gonna see if it'll pull up without going away. Oh, I'm scared. But on the page that I initially saw everything on before I went to this one, it had, wait a minute. Is it another page I have up? Here it is. Okay, y'all. So let me see, because his name is up here for several things. I want to make sure I'm pulling up the right one. Okay, baby, what is we doing all this for? Okay, whatever. Let me just, I don't know what y'all got going on. I got to go all the way back. It's doing the most, and I don't know what for. So put this city, like I'm on the state page or whatever it is right now to pull up some stuff. Okay, why y'all keep going backwards? I'm trying to pull his name up, child. But anyway, oh, wait a minute. Begin. Okay. I said begin. Is it not allowing me to do it? Let me try again. I'm going to try one more time. And if I can't get it to pop up this time, because I had it popped up before. I had it sitting up here before. Let me look. Let me put this city on here and see what happened. Begin. It's not allowing me to do it. Anyway, so it had the first, like I was telling y'all before, initially before I went to sleep, only one thing came up about him, and that was what he pulled time for when he went to the pen. The second time, all this other stuff popped up. Oh, shoot. Anyway, one of them was some kind of, what was it, domestic violence or something? I was like, what? One said domestic violence. One said, y'all, I was trying to tell y'all, because on that page, in correspondence, in relation or whatever, to what I was just telling y'all about the most recent thing, because this is still an ongoing situation. He had to go to trial for this. He just had a trial date. I'm remembering now. He just had a trial date at the beginning of this month for this situation that he had gotten arrested for. Okay. Then now they have another one that's coming up in 2 months. So he got to go back in 2 months. Again, this is something he ain't never said to me. Ain't said a word. He just been coming to work, ain't said hey bye, nothing in relation to this. He just trying to look in my face and smile and think I'm finna be a dummy and not know that he's still married or whatever he got going on. You're still with the wife, you're living with her, you're doing something, because why would you then all of a sudden you got pictures up in the house of you and the wife on y'all's wedding day? For what? If we ain't together no more, all that gone. From the way he was talking about her, all that would have been gone. You could take that with you. If you want to cherish them type of memories, I don't want no parts of you no more. Because it's a wrap. Because some of the stuff he said was going on, ain't nothing else for us to talk about. Why would I have pictures hanging up where I live of you and I on our wedding day? When we over with, we divorced. Ain't no reason to have this up. Now, I would have understood if the woman had passed away and that was the reason why, okay, you do that for a little while until you get past that. But I don't understand. And then for me, the only reason why that was somewhat fly was because the son is still young. So memories for the son. And then I ain't gonna lie to you, I would have moved that stuff right on into his room after a little while as he got older. Be like, hey, you can have your memories of your mama, but we wasn't together no more. I wasn't trying to be one no more, or whatever. And or we ain't together, or she died, or whatever the situation might have been. But it's a wrap, and now I'm dating and I'm dealing with other people. So I want to respect my new lady in my life. But yeah, y'all, this man really played in my face. And I texted my friend, and she's asleep right now. And I texted her, letting her know that I'd connected all these dots and that I am mad at my own self for allowing myself to be played, for allowing myself to allow this man to play in my face. Yet again, another man has played in my face. And see, this is why I don't have nothing to do with nobody. This is why I have chosen to stay single. As I tell people all the time, I feel as though I did something in a past life that I'm paying for in this one. And that's why every man who approached me, who even if they seem genuine at first, eventually stuff come out about them. They always lying to me. They always trying to test my gangster. They always doing me dirty. And I'm tired of it. I ain't do nothing to provoke nobody. I don't never do nothing to none of these folks. I ain't never going to try to sit up here and make it seem like I'm an angel. But I never do anything to try these folks. And they just try me. They'll lie to me and do all this, cheat on me, do all this. And I'm just like, you could have just left me alone, though. I'd have told you what I went through before I met you. So why would you continuously do the things that I told you I'm not here for? But anyway, y'all, I wanted to give y'all the information on that foolishness. Hopefully y'all thoroughly enjoyed it. Bye, y'all.